Just in case you're here for the first time, you know that it's been there for 5 years. This year we are celebrating the 5th year in October, and all of you are welcome. It will be a dinner. Yes, so it will be on 31st of October. That is the last Friday of October. And we meet every Monday from 7:15 to 8:15. And we discuss a variety of topics. The intention is that you may grow, whether you are in business, you are a freelancer, or you are in corporate entity, corporate employment, career person. Ours is personal development, career development, and all that. So we welcome you, and we use the same link. Today, I think, I don't know, I must have picked a link for another meeting. So I just noticed in the morning after 7 that the link seems to be wrong. So the apologies. We use the same link, so you can always keep it just in case. The other thing is, we also do have a couple of other things that we do to stay connected. For example, we have a Per Monday WhatsApp group. We have meet and greets. We have a few other things. And so you are most welcome. Next Monday will be a public holiday. So such public holidays, whenever there is a public holiday in Kenya, we don't meet, but we meet on every other Monday when it's not a public holiday. And so I'd like to welcome all of us. We start with a poem from Nancy Mora.
I
Welcome.
hope we are doing well. In the course of last week, I was thrown into a room where there is a brainstorming session ongoing, and an idea was floated, and I got amazed because the same idea brought forth different strategies because our perceptions are different. My poem today is focused on different perceptions. So, is green a color or is it a plant? Green, what do you perceive it to be? Is it a color that is splashed across the foliages or the trees, or is it something that is more profound, that is untamed and that is free? Green, is green the uncoiling curl of a fan, or is it a moss that dances in the swirling streams? Is it the stillness in the jungle, or is it the unfolding vine? What do you think of green? Is it merely a tone of the artist? Is it a blend of blue or yellow combined? What do you think of green? Is it feasible? Is green an inner feeling? How will you define green? You see, green ascends the walls of ivy's empress. It spreads across the neglected terrains. It whispers where wilderness thrives. Green is a living plant that is tangible and real. You see, green is it's traffic lights that grants us passage, a cool that lives ebb and flow, that everything is on the glow and it is growing. Yet green can wither, yet green can decay, yet green can transform, or yet green can stagnate. What is your green? What is your thought of green? Thank you.
Green is a color, that is it. And nothing. Sometimes we are taught, don't think too much. If somebody tells you where is X or find X, just find this is X. Yes, and the answer ends there. So we have a great guest, and he's been with us here. Last year, he spoke to us about planning and I think evaluation, which was a very great topic. And so I want to invite Antonia to do the introduction. Antonia, Antonia.
Yes, good morning, team. I'm glad to be here this morning, and it's my great pleasure to introduce our guest for today, who is Mutua Urbanos. He is an architect with over 20 years of experience, and he graduated from the University of Nairobi, a member of the Architectural Association of Kenya, and registered by the Board of Registration, Architects and Quantity Surveyors. Over the years, he has done variety of designs ranging from residential homes, apartments, office blocks, hotels, cottages, aircraft hangars, schools, churches, among many others. Mutua is a very passionate about mentorship. He has mentored many architecture students as well as high school students. His passion is to make architecture students to be their best. A fourth born in a family of 6 children, Akmutua is married and has 3 wonderful children, 2 of whom are over 18 years old. Outside the profession, Mutua is a very avid hiker. In the last 2 years, as he has hiked all the trails of Aberdares many times, scaled Mount Kenya 6 times at Peak Lenana, and Mount Kenya 2 times and still counting. His motto is serve with a smile. And I can tell you, he does. He does, and this can only be found on Power Monday. And this reminds me that one of his friends, whom they serve in the choir, told me that this Power Monday has got all great speakers. And I told him, you need to be one of them. So, karibu sana, and greetings from your friend, Steven Mutinda. So, karibu sana, and we are seated waiting to hear from you, Akmutua.
All right. Thank you so much. It's always great to hear your introduction because it's different when it's a funeral, but being live and hearing your good words, it's amazing. So good morning, everyone. Yes, you heard, my name is Mutua, and today we're going to talk about construction. But before that, I want us to recap what we discussed last time. When I talked to you, it was early in the year, and it was about goal setting. It was about resolutions. It's about, planning your year. And I would like to ask that people who participated in that conversation, in the chat, you can post and ask, just post and tell us where are we? Are you on track? Have we achieved what we planned? Are we on course? It's good to hear the progress we've made because we already almost halfway the year. So it's good to see, did we keep our promise from January to now? We are in May now, towards the end of May. So in the chat, please kindly just drop a few messages and say the dreams, the goals you set, and the progress you've made. It's good to keep track.
Yeah.
Having said that, then
You cannot bring an impromptu card. You ought to have told people earlier.
indeed, it's good to see. It's not an impromptu because it's something you are doing. If you are on course, you're on course. If you're not, you're not. Okay, good. So
Yeah, but we are
as
on
you type,
course.
yeah, as you type your feedback in the chat, then I will say that today I'm talking about construction, and the title was the the good, the bad, and the ugly in construction. But I want to say, let me just edit a bit and say the good, the bad, and the ugly when constructing, especially in Kenya, because that is where the context is. So I'll talk about that. But for now, I will give you a bit of background of myself and also how to become an architect. It's good to understand that so that even for your children and your brothers and sisters who would want to be architects, they understand the journey we take to be where we are. So architecture is a 6-year course in Kenya. It could be different in other countries. Other countries have 4 years, but in Kenya we do 6 years. That's the university. Then after the 6 years, you're supposed to work under another architect to get the industrial practice for 2 years. Then after the 2 years, you sit a professional exam, which is set by the Board of Registration of Architects and Quantity Surveyors, commonly known as BORACs. And then after that, you get registered. That's the time you can say, I am an architect. So that certificate comes after 8 years of the pursuit of this kind of academic adventure. So I went through that, and in 2007, I got registered as an architect. And since then, I've been in the deep end of consulting as an architect. And luckily in Kenya, we don't specialize there. In other countries, you find somebody specializes in, let's say, residential, in apartments, in office blocks. But in Kenya, you are broad-based. You're able to approach architecture from all corners, and you're able to design everything. So that's the journey we take. And if you have children who want to be oriented in this space, then that's why I come in. Recently, I got a friend who has a son in high school, and they wanted to be an architect. And they told me, spend a day with this person, expose him to what it takes to be an architect. And we spent a day, and the guy was extremely excited about what we do. I went to 2 meetings with him. He saw what we undergo. So that's the journey that I take. In the introduction, I said that I like mentoring. People want to go this direction, and I spend time with them in high school, in campus, and all that. So that is what it takes to be where we are, and it's an interesting field. The beauty of architecture, I would say, is that we deal with people at their happy moments. Doctors deal with people when they are sick. Lawyers deal with people when they are struggling with a case. But architects, it is happy times. Somebody has some money, they want to have a beautiful home. That's why we come in. And I'm happy that I'm serving a happy clientele, happy community, happy times. So this talk about the, the good, the bad, the ugly in construction comes at a time when I need to educate you about this space. It's vast, but I will just highlight two specifics of just that, because it's quite a broad subject, and it's good to navigate this landscape. It can be confusing for especially first-time investors, first-time builders. It can be extremely confusing. So I want to just highlight a few things that, or a few pointers that you need to watch out for and look out for when you're putting your house. So for a start, I just want to ask in the audience that if you've put up your house or your home before, then what was your experience? And it's good to post in the chat and say, what was your worst experience when you're doing that? So that you start opening up and seeing what you went through. So I'll just cluster my talk into 3 components: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Just that, when constructing in Kenya. And as I talk, you'll be able to pick pointers into what to look out for, what to be careful about, what to be prepared for, and any surprises that come your way, you'll have some knowledge how to navigate that. So let's start with the good. We start with the good news, and I'll say that one of the good things is that there's joy in owning a home. You've heard the very common phrase of naishi kwangu. Naishi kwangu means that, well, I'm not paying rent. I have my home in my 50 by 100 or 100 by 100 or an acre or 2 acres or 10 acres. And that comes with the joy of being able to build a house which meets your needs. Because when you design your own home, you're able to fit in or tailor-make it to your needs. There are people who say that, well, when you buy a house, you find that it's not fitting to your needs. You needed a 5-bedroom, you bought a 4-bedroom. You needed an office, there's no office in this house. So turn the SQ to an office. You needed, let's say, a TV room, there's no TV room. You needed servants' quarters, it's not there. So when you do your own home, then you're able to tailor-make the house to your needs so that you're comfortable living the way you want to. Because we have personality challenges or different personalities which help us live the way we want. Nobody lives the same as the other person. So when you build your own home, you tailor-make it. You're able to live according to your needs. And that's a different topic about build versus buy. That's a different topic which we can always discuss in the future. But for now, the good is that you're able to create your own space, live in the beauty and the needs of your family. Of course, after the house, you always find a kitchen garden, you have your dogs somewhere, you have your servants' quarter somewhere. That gives you the flexibility of living in your own space. And then the other good thing about building in Kenya is about real estate boom. I can say that it will never. People keep saying that there's a bubble which will burst. It will never burst because population is growing. People always coming to the towns. People are coming to rental income is. I mean, rental needs are always there. So when you build, leave alone your house, but now investing, you find that you're able to take the needs of the people in terms of rental spaces. So I would say that apart from Nairobi, there is devolution. So people are able to live in other towns. Long time ago, it was like you must come to Nairobi, live in Nairobi. But now look at the towns out there. Small towns like even my hometown, which is Wote, people are living there. So investing in your hometown is also a booming business. So that's a place you can invest in. And I would say the good thing again is in Kenya, you'd be shocked that our consultants are renowned in the region. You find, if you go to Rwanda, for example, you find Kenyan architects have a big name there. You go to Somalia, I've done houses in Somalia, and you have a big name there. Go to Juba, just up the road here. We have a big name there. Go to Uganda. So we have the benefit of having serious consultants in Kenya. So that's a good thing in that Kenyans consultants are respected in the region. So we have the benefit, now that we are resident here, to offer the good services that we have. And the other good thing is that technology has come. Technology in design, technology in construction, technology in getting things done faster and better. So we have that as well. And again, in Kenya, land is still available. And there's something I want you to think about. You don't have to build or invest in the towns. Go deeper, go outside the towns. I was listening to a clip recently about investing, and somebody was saying, if you buy some land in Karen, for example, and perhaps in Karen, half an acre goes for about 30 to 40 million. But that 30, 40 million can also get you like 100 acres somewhere in the rural areas and put up some, let's say, a destination like, let's say, hotel or cottages or suites. You find with the same money, you're able to get more value by investing. So land is still available. We have tourist destinations in Kenya. We have BNB which has come up. We have rural investment. So that is an area that you can also spend time on and look at what is it available, or what is it that I can do without, outside the towns or the commercial centers. So that is just open your minds into what is available in the rural areas, and especially with the devolution, you're able to go out deeper into the rural areas. The other advantage we have in Kenya here, and the good, is that we have local materials which are available. In Nairobi, we have stone. The building stone is resident in Nairobi. As you go deeper into the rural areas, you find their bricks. You go to other areas, you have timber. You go to other areas, you have different materials available for different zones. So the good in that, the advantage track in that is that you don't have to import materials from other places. Invest or use the materials that are available in your area, so that the cost can be minimal and still get the benefit of a beautiful architecture from the local materials available. So that will be the good stuff that we find in our space as a Kenyan community. Well, while we continue, let me say a few things about the bad. The bad in constructing would be the common frustrations. What are the frustrations? Mild frustrations that come your way, and you feel like, oh, why am I doing this? I should have done different things. But let me highlight them so that we create awareness in this space. So the bad would be, one is land. This always comes a bit later when the client approaches me. Land offers some challenges. Land, there's the size of land, there's the shape of land, there's the topography or the slope of land, there's the type of soil. These are very interesting challenges in that when you're buying land, and this now I'm telling people who have not bought land yet and want to buy, look out for the slope. Sometimes the land slopes the wrong way. You find it sloping to your neighbor. So when it rains, water is going to your neighbor. The size. Do you want to put up a 5-bedroom on a 60 by 40? Do you want to put a 5-bedroom on an acre? The size is important. The shape. Sometimes just a good rectangular plot is good. Sometimes you find some triangular plots. You find other plots which are organic in terms of the shape is not regular. The shape is important when you're buying the land. Soil type is a big discussion. Generally in Kenya, we have two broad types of soil. We have the black cotton soil, we have the red soil. Red soil is okay in that it's well drained. You don't have to go deeper with your foundations, and that's okay. But black cotton soil, you have to go to the rock, because what happens with black cotton soil is that when it dries, it cracks. Cracking means your house also cracked. It cracks with the house as well. And you're supposed to go deeper all the way to the bottom in terms of the rock or the marram. So when you're buying land, this is advice to the people who have not bought land. You just check how deep is the black cotton soil. I had an experience in Ngong where we found the land, the soil was 6 meters deep in terms of black cotton soil. So to get to the bottom, we had to dig 6 meters. That's a lot of digging and a lot of money invested in the foundation. So the solution is you're supposed to do columns or pillars all the way to the rock, then suspend your house. You mean in terms of costing, of course, the money goes into that foundation which you're not planned for. So before buying land, check how deep is the black cotton soil, how far is the marram, how far is the rock, so that you mitigate the cost of doing the foundations. So the first issue, as I said, the bad is land. The land itself can be a frustration if you're not keen before buying it. And of course, if you already have it, there are solutions to ensuring that you get the best out of that land. Number two of the bad is approvals. In Kenya, you need several approvals. One of them is the county approvals. The other one is NEMA approval. And the other one is NCA, National Construction authority approvals. It can be frustrating in that it takes time. When you start construction, or before you start construction, I mean, you're able to get these approvals, start early. Plan with about a month, 2 months, 3 months of getting these approvals in place, so that you don't have the frustration of the county officials coming, stopping your construction, and harassing your workers there. So that's an area that mostly people don't pay attention. Usually about 2 to 3 months of time to get all these approvals in place. So it needs patience, it needs to be guided by your professionals. The other matter which I'll talk about as bad or common frustrations will be cost. Cost frustrations, or how do I put it? We have the thought that when you have a bit of stones, you have a bit of ballast, you have a bit of sand, then you are set to go. But that is just about 30% of the construction, because from my experience, what we call the shell is doing your slabs, doing your walling, doing your roof, takes about 50% of the cost. The other cost goes to finishes. So there's usually this conception that I already have some stones, I have already some ballast, I've already done some sand, I'm ready and I can do my construction. Then the frustration comes when after doing all that, you discover you need another almost same amount of money to do the finishes. So it is always to be good to be aware that the stones, the ballast, the sand is just a very small percentage of the construction. There's a bigger picture. So let's be prepared for one, cost of finishes, two, inflation, because cost of items keep going up when you're constructing. The other frustration is about contractors. The choice of contractors is important. Could be a contractor, could be a fundi, could be a foreman. All those people need to be carefully chosen, and your architect or your builders will be able to guide you on that. It's good to ensure somebody has a sense of quality, somebody has sense of speed, has a sense of doing a good job from the start. So that's a guidance that you need if you're a first-time investor or a first-time builder, because they can be extremely frustrating. It's always good to also have a contract. Sign up something. Don't just shake hands and say, "Oh, fine, you're my fundi, twende kazi." No, sign up something so that somebody, the liabilities are transferred, the commitments are assured, and timelines are agreed on, and how much to pay is agreed on from the start, so that you avoid frustrations when the construction is ongoing. Another bad experience is, I would say, ownership of land. Kenya is interesting. You'll buy land, and then later you realize that this land has many issues. There's double allocation, there are succession issues, there are lost green cards, all that. So my advice is, when you're buying land or when you're acquiring land, just ensure that you spend time in the land's office to ensure that you have acquired proper property, and you get your paperwork right. And another frustration would be just infrastructure. Does the land or the property have water? Is there a sewer? Is there power? Are the roads okay? So if those are issues that are there, then what are the solutions? If you are off grid, then can you do solar? If you know water, can you do a borehole? If the roads are poor, can you make the roads, or can the county government make the roads, or the national government? If there's no sewer, are you able to do a biodigester? Are you able to do a septic tank? So that's just awareness. Just before you invest, look at those services. Are they there? And how do you handle that? And on the bad, then the other frustration I would say is a broad topic which we can talk about, about diaspora versus family. I've had clients who are in Canada, who are in US, in Europe, and Qatar, and Dubai, and they're always frustrated by family. That you entrust your uncle, you entrust your father to invest or to build for you, and then when you eventually come back after 6 months to 1 year, you find that the dream house that you had in mind does not match your expectations. And this is a big deal. Is a big deal in the industry. So for me, how I've been involved is that I say, fine, use your father, use your uncle, but can I be there to ensure that the money you send has been used for the right purpose? I'll send you reports, I'll send you photos, I'll go to site. Keep your father in check, because he's your father, he's not my father. So I can be able to confront or just ensure that they are doing the right thing. And that's how I've been able to cover that ground. And the other thing is that you can install cameras on the site to ensure that you are seeing day to day or real time construction practice happening on site. That you're able to see the money you're sending. You sent 200,000, has it been put in good use? You've sent 1 million, is it being good? So that you're able to see the progress of your construction. So diaspora versus family is a big deal, and as architects or as consultants, we're able to come in to bridge the gap between you investing money and you getting conned when you're out there. So that's a journey that we take with our clients. So I hope up to there we are good. I want to get deeper into the ugly now. The ugly, I'm talking about just what are the serious risks or the red flags that come in when you're constructing. And this would be extremely wrong or bad cases of just construction going wrong. And I will start by saying one is you can get extremely poor workmanship, extremely poor, especially with concrete. You've had a case of houses collapsing. And I say, by the time a house collapses, then it must be very poor construction. Because concrete and steel have a way of just being able to sustain abuse or poor workmanship. But by the time they collapse, then it is very bad. So that is one of the extremely serious cases or risks that we experience in this. And if you look at, if you do see the news and you always see houses collapsing, always it points back to the investor. And I'll say this, you find, you hear this house was approved for 3 floors, but by the time it was collapsing, it was 7 floors. What happened? The developer said, oh, add some 3-4 floors. It was not designed to carry 4 floors extra. So that is one of the biggest risks I see around in Nairobi and in Kenya generally. Number 2 is not involving professionals. You know, you are new in this field, you've come in to invest, you've come in to build, but then you're just doing it on your own. Professionals have been on this journey for many years. Like for me, I've been around for over 20 years in the construction. So it means it's a journey I've taken over and over. So I'm able to tell you, avoid this risk, let's work with this, let's do this, so that you're able to get the best out of your investment. The other ugly matter is lack of proper visibility. Let me get deeper into this. Let's say, for example, you want to do, let's say, apartments, but then you've not done your homework well to know, is it the right investment? Is it this is the right thing to do at the right place? You want to do like hotel suites, but they are neighboring a very busy highway. That tells you that already that is a turn-off for your guests. You want to do a supermarket, for example, and we know that supermarkets work well when they are on the left side of the road. Left meaning you are going out of Nairobi, you are going out of a town, so you are shopping on your way home. You want to do a petrol station, and you know a petrol station must be to the left side of the road, so that you are fueling to leave. You are fueling to go on a journey. So you need to fuel and leave. Rarely do people fuel into town. You find, so for your traffic, you want to fuel as you leave the town. So that small things that matter, the big deal in terms of how feasible is your investment and maximizing your returns. So always you need advice in terms of, is this the right investment? Is it the right place? Is the right side of the road? It's a big deal for us as architects to give you proper advice. Sometimes you want to do apartments in your rural home or your rural town. The cost of construction might be the same, but the returns will be minimal. Like, for example, an apartment, let's say in Nairobi, would maybe 2 bedroom fetches 30,000. The same apartment in a place like, let's say, Makweni, Ukowote, our place, you find the same 2 bedroom is 7,000. So you need to be aware that, look, I'm putting in this money, but my returns are this way. So you need advice around return on investment, the cost of building, and what to expect as your payback time. That's important. Then number 4, the ugly will be lack of master planning. Master planning comes very well when it comes to institutions. You've seen schools where they started with one classroom, they put it at the center of the land, then eventually they added more classrooms, and eventually you have a confusion of utility of land. I always say, when you're doing, let's say, a school, some hotels, come to us and do a master plan. Master plan helps you put the right buildings at the right place, so that you see the utility of the land when all the buildings are in place, and then you start building in phases. That can be ugly in that eventually you'll be forced to demolish some houses which you've put up. Still discussing what is very ugly is that just be keen on the kind of professionals you hire. We have the term is quacks in the industry. There are architects, in quotes, who are not registered. There are contractors, in quotes, who are not proficient in the area. So it's always good to confirm, have you got the right people for the job? And for architects, it's very easy online, and you just go online and search our names, you'll find who is a certified architect in this country. And the Board of Registration of Architects and Quantity Surveyors keeps a database of the architects who will be practicing in Kenya at every year. So that is public knowledge, and it's in our website. The other thing to look out for, it's just I talked about the land. Land. Just ensure that when you're buying land, you have the right papers, you've done your due diligence, you've got your lawyers doing the searches to ensure that you get the proper, you're investing on a proper land owned by yourself. I've had an experience where a client put up a house on a land which was owned by somebody else. So the other person came and found a house already built. So it was nasty. So that's something to be careful about. Land ownership, especially in Kenya, especially around Nairobi, in Kajiado, there's been a lot of land issues which need to be sorted, and you need to be careful when you're buying the land. Another case, a client put up a house on the wrong piece of land, in that he bought the land, fine, but when he went to build, he showed the fundi the wrong piece of land, and they put up a house. So when the owner of the house, the land came, they found that a house was already built on his property. Of course, he was a good person. They were able to switch and the properties, and they were just neighboring plots. So land, I want to insist, and always confirm ownership, confirm that you are the legitimate owner of the land. The other ugly matter would be hazards. hazards on site. There are matters of insurance. Sometimes when you're building, it's good to cover your property with some insurance. There's insurance of what you're building and the insurance of your workers. It all looks nice until somebody falls or hurts himself, breaks a leg, dies on your site. Then liability issues start coming up. So the general practice is to have your land, your construction insured, insure the property and insure the workers. And that, if you have a contractor, then the contractor knows that they are supposed to have the insurance. If you don't have a contractor, then go the extra mile to insure your workers, so that in case of any injuries, in case of any death, they are covered by the insurance. So those are the highlights of what could be extremely ugly on your site. And all is not bad, all is not lost. I would say that to mitigate all that, there are just about a few things that you should do. One is that start with professionals. When you start with professionals, you are guided, you're given proper advice. These are people who have same journey, walked with you. They've walked this again, so they'll be able to take you through this journey. Number two, do a very thorough background check of the land, as I said. Number three, do a very detailed feasibility study of your investment proposal, so that you're sure that you're getting your returns within the stipulated time. Number four, use contracts. It's good to sign off something. Don't say, this is my uncle is building for me, this is a fundi I can work with. Avoid these handshake deals. Don't just say, oh yeah, nijenge. Just sign something. Have the terms, and it's simple. The terms can just be, how much am I paying you? How long are you going to do this for me? What is my expectation? A little contract helps in terms of streamlining the preparations. Number five, plan for delays. Construction is not straightforward. You might imagine that you'll bid in 3 months, but then 6 months later, 1 year later, you're still building. Just plan, expect some delays in the construction. Of course, things like rain coming, when it's raining, it affects your construction period. Cash flow issues come in, you find that you can't move at your speed. So always plan for those delays. I will also say also plan for your cost overruns. Usually, cost keeps changing. Within a year, you find the cost of steel has gone up, the cost of labor has gone up. So always expect some overruns when you're building. And then again, also the choice of your location, the choice of your land, the titles, the accesses, the services, all those. Just be aware that these are things you need to look out for. The sewer, I say the water, power, roads. Be aware that these are areas that you need to be keen. So, but all is not lost, all is good. The opportunities is still in this country. There are opportunities to own a home, the opportunities to invest. The diaspora team, there are opportunities to invest around here. We are here to support and to work with you, and to ensure that you achieve what you have you are planned to do. So as I conclude, I just that is this is not a part of the good, the ugly, and the bad I've talked about. Just some areas, something to think about from my experience. Items that people have in their houses which they never use, and you in the chat you can drop a message and say, what was the last time you used your bathtub in your house? Have it, but do you ever use it? You have a balcony, you have your balconies. Do you ever go there? Ask yourself that question. Your fireplace, when did you last put up a fire there? So things that I keep getting requests by clients, but looking back 10 years from the clients I designed for, they tell you, I've never used my bathtub. I've not been to my balcony for 6 months. The fireplace has been off for 2 years. So those are things that you need to ask ourselves. And again, as I conclude, is other discussions in future, something about build versus buy, flat roof versus pitch roof, are things that we can always discuss. But having said that, then I would say it's nice talking to you guys, and I wish you well. And as you just contemplate what I've discussed, keep those pointers um, at the back of your mind. In the next home you are going to do, the investments you're going to do, we will work with you and show you what to be prepared for. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, this topic can have lots of questions. Now, I wanted maybe to start with just between brick and stone. What is your thought? Which one would suppose somebody has access to both? Most times stone is a little more expensive, but I always feel like, but brick also builds just a permanent house.
I would say depends on what you're building. A bungalow, that's just a ground floor house. Brick is great. If you have access to both brick and stone, go for brick. I would advocate. It's cheaper and is able to achieve that. The stone comes in handy when you are doing a storied building, like you're on first floor, second floor, and all that, because stone is able to withstand the load bearing of an upper floor, but brick might not carry an extra floor. So that's what you would consider when you're
But we have
choosing.
the columns, yeah, columns.
Yeah, you can still do columns, yeah, but yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then somebody asked, what's your experience with precast panels from the angle of durability and affordability? Whatever that means, I know you understand.
I
Precast.
understand. Precast panels are good. I'll answer by saying depends on where you're building. If you're building within, let's say, Nairobi, Thika, and Kitengela, where stone is available, stone is cheaper. But as you go further, there are places like, as you go towards Nakuru, go towards Eldoret, where stones are not available, then the precast becomes a very good and solution. So my take is depends on your location. So consider your local available materials, and then consider the precast, because of course precast is more expensive depending on where you are. So it's something that can be done. It's faster, of course. You're able to put up your walling very quickly with the precast. But in terms of cost, first consider your local available materials, then choose the technology that's appropriate for that area.
Great. Now, you talked about approvals. Building a rural home. Do we need approvals? You're building on your own land. Why? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say in Kenya, you're supposed to get approvals everywhere you build. Everywhere. That is the blanket condition or rule. But of course, what happens now when you start building in your rural home, you find that you not seek approvals, and the country people will not come because they don't have the capacity to reach your rural home. But the blanket professional advice is yes, approvals required everywhere. But
Mm.
then the shortcoming is that they don't have the capacity to find you doing the wrong thing at your home. So
When
people
they,
just go by.
when they come, you chase them with the dog and all sorts
Yeah,
of.
but you're supposed to get approvals across.
Somebody
Yes.
says, I have an idle land in Kitengela, Kamulu, yet I'm so broke. How can you help? Is buying ready? The other question is buying ready-made house cheaper than constructing your own? I know you said that's a debate we can have another day, is buy versus build.
I
But
can
maybe what
answer.
can you say?
I can answer quickly.
Yeah.
Well, Idoland, Kamulu, Kitengela, and you're broke. That unfortunately, construction is expensive. You need money to invest. So, if you buy the land, you have several options. One, you can sell it. Number two, you can lease it to people who need to invest in some business. So that's an area that you can explore. Number two, buying a ready-made house. Yes, it is it's not an issue of cost, cheaper or not. It is ready-made house you're able to get it without the headache of going through the process of construction. But sometimes you find it's not meeting your needs. You live in a particular way. You want particular, what do you call it, fine tuning or custom making a house to meet your needs. So when you buy, you find you have to fit in a house which is existing and is not responding to your needs. So it's just an issue of saying, look, I want my own to create my own space, or I want to buy and fit in within this existing space. It's cheaper. It's not cheaper. It's just the headache of having to fit in into a space which was not originally yours. So that is the debate. Cost aside, yes.
Okay, now somebody also asks approximately how much would it cost for a 3-bedroom bungalow in Kitengela? The rock is 3 feet down.
Um, how do I put it? The cost
Depends
of
on the size.
construction is based on the area or the size of the house. You can have a 3-bedroom house which is 90 square meters. You can still have a 3-bedroom house which is 200 square meters. So you can't have a blanket cost of construction. It is tailor-made to the size of the house. So
Yeah,
that is an area we can dig deeper and look at the area.
good.
The rock, of course, 3 feet deep, that's okay. That's a very good foundation. So you're able to remove your black cotton soil, 3 feet, you have your foundation. But overall, the cost is based on the cost, the area of the building.
In the meantime, I've just extended so that a few questions are asked. In the meantime, you can put your contact in the chat so that people can ask, because people can contact you, because we may not address all these questions. The other thing is, you talked about a slope to be considered in the land. How does slope come in? You did not explain that.
Okay, very quickly, land can be flat. Land can be sloping. It can also be very steep. Flat land means that you're able to put up your house and start your construction immediately and start going up. When you have a sloping site, there are issues of retaining walls, there are issues of more complicated foundations, there are issues of drainage. How is the water draining? So when the land is sloping, then you might spend more on foundations, on retaining walls. You might have to think about the drainage. When it rains, where does the water go? Sometimes you find the land is sloping towards your neighbor. So when it rains, your water is going to your neighbor. But if it's sloping the other way towards the road, then your water is sloping to the road. So those are issues that you need to look at and be aware that the slope affects you in terms of cost of foundations, rainwater drainage, and their kind of architecture that you can do on that land.
Thank you. Eti, how do contractors charge their fees?
Okay, contractors give you a quote for the materials and for labor and their profit. And how to get there is that you need to get a quantity surveyor to do for you a bill of quantities, and then the contractors price it. And the cost you see from a contractor takes care of their labor, takes care of the profit, takes care of materials. So that, of course, is a big discussion, but it's good to get a quantity surveyor to do for you the estimates. Then the contractor is able to price that and give you a cost of construction.
I think for the because of time, we've got to stop there, and we can have more discussion about this later, or some other people who can linger behind. I'd like to invite Maurice to give a vote of thanks, after which we can quickly do announcements, and then we close it so that whoever wants to stay a little longer, I will keep it up to 8:30 for people who want to stay behind beyond 8:15. Maurice?
Thank you very, very much, Architect Urbanos Mutua. I think this has been an excellent presentation. You've done it in a very, very calm and professional way, telling us about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's something you have just mentioned as by the way, but I think it's very, very critical. as we are talking about the issue of some of these things we have in our houses, like a balcony, a fireplace, and even a bathtub, which are not utilized. I know sometimes people spend a lot of money having these things when you're doing the construction, and later on you realize maybe they're not useful. If anything, sometimes you realize maybe you needed more a study room rather than having a space that you're not using frequently. So thank you so much for sharing about just taking advantage of local materials, to reduce on cost. The issue of about thinking about the piece of land you're looking at, the size, shape, topography, as well as the soil, and many other considerations, including, I think, even traffic, accessibility to facilities. And I also learned something very unique when you say that placing a camera, you know, to help you supervise a site, especially if you are in the diaspora. I think this is something which many people had not thought of before, because people just rely on still photos. You're being sent still photos, and then you get surprised when you come to site. You realize everything you're being sent was fake. And thank you so much also for opening our eyes about the ugly, which sometimes we take for granted. Many of us go for cheap, which end up being costly, especially when you get people claim or masquerade themselves to be architects or constructors. And then at the end of the day, you spend a lot of money trying to rectify a mistake which will have been checked from the onset. And also thank you for letting us know that you can actually verify the qualifications of an architect or engineer by just keying in the name or the number in the system. You've also shared with us things about insurance, hazards, and how to take care of that. You've talked about some topics which we really want you to speak about in future. You just mentioned it, whether to build or to buy, whether to build a flat roof or a pitch roof, whether to use a iron sheet as a roofing or to use like a slab. There are quite a number of things which I think today you've just touched the tip of the iceberg, and we're looking forward to seeing you again. Yeah. So thank you so much. You have really opened our eyes and you have inspired us this Monday. I'm sure everybody who came on board got something. I also like to take this opportunity to thank Paul, Peter, and the team, Live Your Dream team, for always organizing these Monday talks. They really give us power and they drive us forward. And even for new members who joined us today, this is a great and excellent opportunity. Can spread the word so that we have more and more people joining. So thank you very much again, and may God bless you. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah. And now, just briefly, we always have a WhatsApp group for Power Monday. I've put a link there. You can fill in the form on liveyourdream.co.ke / Power Monday, and then you will be added. Also, consider we always upload these talks by Wednesday of the same week, and some of us also come a little late, or you want to review it later, you want to revise what was said, just subscribe to that link, to that channel, and you'll be able to receive notifications. The other thing is I would like to specifically also thank each and every one of you for the support. Yesterday we had not yesterday, but on Saturday we had a visit to the children's home, Precious Blood Children's Family in Kangware, and it went very well. Mercy Okoth donated, I think it was 6 or 5 kilos of cake, so the children were able to enjoy. That is from Dream and Have Bakers. Then we also had people donate generously, and we were able to buy. Where actually we sent them money so that they bought those things, and ours was just to present. So we will, and I know Antonia will be able to update on what was purchased and even the expenses. The other thing is we are going to have a meet and greet. The next meet and greet will be in July, the last Saturday of July, which should be on 26th. So put it there and we'll give more details. The next announcement is we have an upcoming dinner to celebrate the 5th year of this platform, and it will be here in Nairobi. We are going to look for a venue and share the details. Yours is to mark the date which will be the last Saturday of October, and that should be 31st of October in the evening. Otherwise, thank you all. We meet the same every Monday. We use the same link. You can always keep it with you, just in case there is a little mistake. Like today, I think I picked a link for a different meeting. We have lots of meeting in the program. Otherwise, I thank you all. Any other somebody can close for us with a word of prayer, and then